First up, when asking Chinese suppliers for references, almost every time they decline or say it's a secret. What's the best way to get them to give a reference?
Yeah, so that's true. And I think sometimes it's a communication issue. The international buyer says, give me a list of references. That's a lot different than say, hey, can you give me a couple references? So my rule of thumb is if the supplier can't give me one or two friendly customers that they know are loyal and will give a great review, run away. You know, if you can't get one reference from a factory, now that's how to be direct and ask. But there are sneaky ways to get references where the seller might not necessarily know that they're giving you a reference. For example, when you or your third-party inspection or maybe you're sending a quality auditor to check out the ISO system, tell that auditor to go 2 places and take some pictures. Go to the warehouse. Now, sometimes the supplier will say, nope, we don't allow pictures in the warehouse. Well, then have that you or a third party just pay attention to what the master packs say, because almost always the boxes in the warehouse list the customer's name and location, often their brand, sometimes their website and phone number. So you go in there and you collect a list, and then you go back and go online and contact them. I've called buyers of potential suppliers. And sometimes like, how did you get my name? How did you get my number? And once I explain, I'm buying for the U.S., you're in New Zealand, we're in this together. Everybody wants to help. Sometimes I've called the brand on that package, and they're like, we don't have production in China. So I've stumbled upon counterfeit products doing this type of research. So that's one way is you go and check out the warehouse. What I like to do, sometimes a little bit sneaky, hopefully not too many of your suppliers that are my suppliers are watching this video, but I'll go in there and say, we're going to do a test of the cardboard, and we're going to drop this box at an angle, or we're going to wet the cardboard and see how it holds as a test. And I need to have some pictures taken while I'm making measurements. In reality, I'm positioning the box so that my coworker can take a picture of the important information so that later we can go do some research. So that's one way to get references when the supplier doesn't even know they're giving references. In the same line of thinking, go to the tool and die shop. The supplier might have an in-house area where they make the molds. Maybe they have a third party. Either way, you go there, and almost always there's some samples laying around, or the molds and the tooling is listed under a certain name or a part number or something that you can do a little bit of research and find out, hey, who is that supplier selling to? Sample rooms and brochures and trade booths. You might think that the supplier would be careful about listing their customer's name when they go to a trade show. In reality, the factory boss is probably aware that they need to protect the intellectual property of the customer, and they shouldn't be just displaying anything. But the sales guy that wasn't aware of that contract is just excited about the upcoming trade show or the new camera shoot, the photo shoot that they're going to do for their new brochure, and he'll go into the sample room and pick the coolest stuff regardless of what brand is on it. So you can visit the sample room or the brochure, and you might find a lot of information that surprises you and allows you to check out some customers. So those are some practical ways of getting information, even if your supplier is reluctant to give you a long list of customers. Bottom line, if they can't even come up with one customer, that's a red flag.